Lower down the mountain is the Jump Jam. This event provides a serious challenge to course builders, as the height and distance of the jumps must be perfect to allow for the big tricks the riders can perform.
I got involved with Whistler this year on a dirt jumping aspect. They wanted to do this jump farm, and so yeah, we just worked out a deal to do that. So I came up and built them a bunch of jumps, and I'm just making sure that the dirt jumps flow.
John Callan is the most meticulous guy I've ever met in my life. He'll sit there with a small broom and sweep his jumps and stuff. He's the artist, you know? He's a jump artist, and he's brought some of that over to Whistler here.
The flowing jump course allows for riders to attempt their best tricks within their allotted time. Competitors are judged on their style and difficulty. If the single jump is too high or too far apart, the rider wouldn't have enough momentum to carry over. Imperfection is not an option. And then there's the Garbanzo downhill, where finesse and acrobatics give way to endurance and willpower.
Garbanzo downhill is it's nothing like what I've done before. Usually World Cups, the average time is probably between 2 and 5 minutes. So for the Garbanzo, it's like 15, 16 minutes plus for riders. So it's really an endurance event.
Yeah, Garbanzo's awesome, man. I tell you what, it's like 4 different downhills in one. You got the top, at the top's like the terrain up there, it's just all rooty and rocky. You get to the center and it's wide open. Then you get to the bottom and you're on like jumps, and so it's probably one of the most well-rounded downhills out there.
Downhill events are all about speed. Each rider competes against the clock for the best run time.
If you want to win it, you're going to have to go hard all the way down, but it's just having patience and you know, getting in your groove right off the bat. I think that's the main thing, because you make a mistake up on the top of a 15-minute downhill, you're just going to make a mistake every 5 minutes.
With every inch of the course mattering, riders push through every turn and every jump, but they do it alone. In the next event, however, they do it with 3 other riders sharing a tiny bit of trail, riding as hard as they can. The Biker X is a rethinking of the classic motocross race. 4 riders go head-to-head on a tight, fast course. The speed of the course is absolutely incredible.
I've never ridden a 4-cross course that's so sick. Richie Schley had part designing it, and you know, it's probably his best work. Everything flows, the jumps are sick, you know, there's some really cool features. Berms are super deep. People are carrying so much speed. It's a long course, but it's so fast, people are making it down in, you know, 53 seconds, and it's just going to get faster.
A lot of course designers don't take into account that Brian Lopes and Basta Beaver and Steve P, Cedric Gracia, they generate a lot of horsepower and can get bicycles up to a pretty high rate of speed pretty quickly. And so it's really cool to see when we come to Whistler, jumps actually the size that they need to be.
Our course is always a bit different. It's usually quite a bit faster, and I like to build the course that way because I feel like, you know, we're on the biggest mountain in North America. I want it to be the biggest, fastest course, right?
So once you get past the first straight, it's all fast, big berms, you don't need to touch the brakes. Yeah, big berm, big jump, another big berm, more big jumps. If all mountain cross is like that, I'd race mountain cross every day.
Very cool to see Cedric and Mick Hanna and a few of the other guys jump the big one, because it just gave it a feeling of like motocross, you know, the event is kind of growing to that proportion.
Mountain bike slopestyle, it's modeled after a snowboard slopestyle contest where there's hits all the way down the hill, big obstacles from wall rides to jumps and on-off boxes. You know, it's got it all, and there's a million different ways to interpret the course.
It's cool because it's not like a race course in the sense where everyone has to go down this line and that's what it takes. You've got multiple obstacles. It's your choice to go where you want, express yourself how you want, and then the judging comes out of that. Is the rider looking fluid and smooth? Did he throw tricks? Was he sketchy when he landed? And all that correlates to your final score in the end.
I'm judging the slopestyle event this weekend, and I definitely was biting my fingernails a lot yesterday during qualifying, just because there's so many different styles out there. It's to weigh, you know, a big mountain rider versus more of a dirt jump street rider, and kind of evaluate those guys on the same piece of paper, you know, can be difficult at times just because a slopestyle course has a little bit of everything.
Richie Schley built the slopestyle. He's basically like the grandfather. He's like the governor here in Whistler, you know. He's in charge of everything. Everybody knows him. And he came up and built the course and kind of kept the interests of all the athletes in mind, from like going big to doing your tech things, and he put everything in there and just made it pretty versatile. Like, you can do whatever you want on the course.
I actually do think about that, some of the riders, and go, oh, I think this would be something that Thomas and Cedric would do, and I build a high, skinny ride along the top of the wall and think, well, that's probably something that Borden and Simmons would do. And the only thing I don't do is I never really think about myself too much. I should be custom building a line for myself, but I seem to always forget about that.
There's a lot of guys doing a lot of good stuff, a lot of dirt jumpers and free riders, so I don't know how it's all going to clash in with the end, but hopefully I'll be able to do something too.
If the root of competition is, in some ways, the display of excellence harkening back to the days of the gladiators in Rome, then the slopestyle competition truly exemplifies that spirit. Winning or losing, the cash prize plays second fiddle to the thrill of wowing the crowd and impressing friends, and every competitor takes this desire with them to this event. This is mountain biking as jazz. Improvisation on a series of jumps and trails, one-upmanship and creativity. Everyone is excited to see what happens next.
He's got one more feature left. Allow these judges. Quick little frame. He's got to do it here. You know he wants to get it.
Highlights for me of Crankworks is definitely the slopestyle, the competition. I really love just doing comps.
Man, I thought the crowd was ridiculous. Like, as soon as he come off that drop, it felt like a football player in the stadium or something. People just go nuts. And it's so rad that there's a place for mountain biking that big.
The concept of the Crankworks Festival is we're trying to, open our doors and say, come on out, try riding here, get a show at the same time, see the best guys in the world do their thing. So you got to come out next year and check it out.
From the thrill of competition to the joy of exploration, mountain biking has always been about two things: pushing yourself to go further and discovering new places with friends.